Up until last week, I had no idea there was a stop-motion SpongeBob Christmas special. I am not exaggerating when I say this is the most insane Christmas special I've ever seen. The stop-motion looks fantastic, and this is one of my favorite songs in the entire show. But then my boy Matt Neff hit me up and pointed out something much more sinister was going on underneath the surface of Bikini Bottom. And it all stems from Plankton's scheme to turn everyone in Bikini Bottom evil by infecting them with Jerktonium. But the only person who isn't affected is SpongeBob. Could SpongeBob's immunity to Jerktonium hint at a deeper secret about the residents of Bikini Bottom?
You do realize this counts as naughty.
Again, big thanks to Matt Neff for giving me the idea for this theory. Go subscribe to his channel and check out his review of Arthur's Perfect Christmas where he tears into DW. It's December 23rd, and SpongeBob is super excited about Christmas. Everyone in Bikini Bottom is gearing up for the holidays. Squidward is hanging up lights to tell Santa to stay away, Patrick is setting traps for Santa, and Sandy is busy with a Christmas experiment. Mr. Krabs is all about the season of getting.
Christmas is my favorite time of the year. After all, 'tis the season of getting.
While Plankton, always the grumpy one, plans to ruin Christmas. Plankton's scheme involves Jerktonium, a new element he's discovered. He then bakes fruitcakes laced with Jerktonium, aiming to turn everyone into jerks. It's actually a really good idea because in his mind, he thinks this will make him look good in comparison, and Santa will finally give him the Krabby Patty formula. When Plankton gives SpongeBob a fruitcake, surprisingly, SpongeBob doesn't even turn into a jerk. Plankton thinks it's a fluke and just keeps feeding him, but SpongeBob just remains his usual cheerful self. After a while, Plankton gets so frustrated that he actually hands over the fruitcake dispenser to SpongeBob and just storms off. SpongeBob, not knowing about the Jerktonium, happily distributes the fruitcakes, and the people who eat them start turning into jerks.
Oh, what is you in that song?
Great to see people so passionate about the holidays.
Plankton sees this and follows SpongeBob, and he's just thrilled that his plan is actually working. After a while, Plankton discovers that SpongeBob's pure heart makes him immune to Jerktonium. So to sabotage SpongeBob's good name, Plankton unleashes a robot clone, Toy Bob, to wreak havoc in Bikini Bottom. The real SpongeBob, still clueless, is shocked when everyone starts being mean. When he realizes this, he rushes to Sandy for help. Now Sandy's actually obsessed with this fruitcake, but eventually they discover that the fruitcake is actually the problem and that a song is the antidote to the Jerktonium. SpongeBob then starts singing the song Don't Be a Jerk in the town square, and one by one everyone turns nice again. But just when things seem to be settling, Santa arrives, but he's got some bad news. Everyone's already in the naughty list, except for Plankton. Toy Bob shows up aiming to destroy Santa, and SpongeBob tries to defend Santa in a dramatic showdown and manages to defeat Toy Bob and saves Santa. Now Santa realizes that Plankton was the real troublemaker and rewards him with a stocking full of coal. Now back to Matt Neff's theory. He called me and said, what if the Jerktonium wasn't even real? Like, what if it was just a big placebo effect set up by Plankton? Okay, let's break this down. So first off, we know SpongeBob doesn't turn into a jerk because he's always this super innocent and good-hearted guy, right? Maybe he's just immune to all this negativity, kind of like how he's always in his own bubble. It's like his goodness is so strong that not even fake Jerktonium can touch him. But let's talk about Sandy, because as much as SpongeBob explains to Sandy that everyone in town is acting like jerks, Sandy is initially indifferent and dismissive, showing signs of being affected by the Jerktonium. She is completely irritated and snappy, which is out of character for her. But if the Jerktonium was supposed to make everyone worse than Plankton, why is Sandy still down to help SpongeBob?
You're immune to Jerktonium, SpongeBob, but the rest of us will need an antidote.
If she's really that mad, wouldn't she just tell SpongeBob to take a hike? Like, it really makes me think that maybe she wasn't really affected by Jerktonium. Maybe deep down, her true nature, you know, being smart and helpful, was way stronger than any of Plankton's tricks. And get this, remember how I said the Jerktonium remedy is to sing the Don't Be a Jerk song? Well, I don't even know if that's true because the first two characters snapped out of being jerks way too easy. Like SpongeBob literally just snaps his fingers and boom, they're back to normal. Doesn't that seem a bit too simple for something that's supposed to be a chemical effect? Like the song wasn't even playing. Honestly, it almost just seems like they needed an excuse to stop being jerks. So what if Plankton actually played a mind game on everyone? Like the Jerktonium was just a way to show that everyone in Bikini Bottom could be kind of toxic or just not so great deep down inside. They just needed a reason to let it out, and the Jerktonium was the perfect excuse. The episode Wigstruck actually ties very well into Matt Neff's theory, and honestly it's kind of wild how it all fits together. In Wigstruck, SpongeBob finds this crazy wig that used to belong to a band member, Ned, from Ned's Declassified. I'm just kidding, the band is called Ned and the Needlefish. But the wig is totally over the top and ridiculous, right? Now SpongeBob, being his usual clueless self, thinks it's the coolest thing ever. He starts going around Bikini Bottom totally oblivious to how crazy he looks. But here's where it gets interesting. Everyone in town starts laughing at SpongeBob because of the wig. And they're not just chuckling, they're outright mocking him. And the wild part? SpongeBob thinks they're laughing with him, not at him. Like, he's so innocent and pure-hearted, he can't even see the ridicule. But when SpongeBob finally realizes the truth, that everyone was laughing at him, he ditches the wig. And just then, Ned, the rock star, finds his wig again, and suddenly, everyone in Bikini Bottom starts wearing these wigs. Even Patrick. It's like 1 minute they're making fun of SpongeBob for the wig, and the next minute they're all following this trend. So, tying this back to the theory about Jerktonium being a placebo, it just shows that the folks of Bikini Bottom have always been kind of shallow and easily swayed.
That's a great idea! Let's start a riot!
Yeah, they're quick to mock SpongeBob when he's out of style, but as soon as a celebrity makes it cool, they all jump on the bandwagon. It's kind of like they don't really need the Jerktonium to act like jerks. That side of them is already there, just under the surface, waiting for a chance to come out. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of funny, but also a bit sad when you think about it. SpongeBob is just being himself, and everyone else is just caught up in appearances and what's trending. It kind of reminds me of the big red boots that came out. Like, I promise you, if I would have worn these in like 2016, everybody would have roasted me. But now that you got Travis Scott wearing them, it's like, oh no, those are cool. I like those. But it's not just Wigstruck. If we look at the episode Band Geeks, this is one of the most famous SpongeBob episodes ever. Partly it's because this episode has a really good story, but for the most part, this episode has every single character we know. And the way everyone in the band room argues and fights during rehearsals shows how petty and aggressive they can get.
Kicking? Oh, I want to do some kicking!
Why, you?
They're supposed to be coming together for a good cause, but instead, they let their egos and tempers get the best of them. Like, it literally takes Squidward getting the press for them to put their differences aside and work together. Jumping back to the Christmas special, the most frustrating part for me is that SpongeBob sings this little song and everyone just acts like everything is back to normal. But do you have any idea how much damage the citizens inflicted on their own home?
Oh, I can break that down for you.
Holy smokes, Matt Neff from FUDW?
I make other videos too.
That's his eager face.
So, let's review. The citizens of Bikini Bottom used a made-up element as an excuse to unleash their Christmas chaos and go full purge.
Well, why don't you get a job and buy all that junk yourself?
Even Patrick's bloodlust shined through as he dragged a poor tiger underwater to set a deadly trap for Kris Kringle.
Oh, hello, big striped shrimp.
Their Christmas parade turned into a merry time massacre, with Pearl killing at least 3 people. The parade route took a sharp downward spike off a cliff, which will likely traumatize this poor guppy for life. And don't go blaming the Jerktonium, because they pre-planned this cliffside Christmas parade route before everyone ate the fruitcake. They knew what they were doing. Plankton realized SpongeBob was unsusceptible to his fruitcake fraud, so he sought to slander the Sponge's good name with an imposter who attempted first-degree murder on Squidward and Mr. Krabs. SpongeBob was only able to snap everyone out of their vengeful ways with a morally righteous melody, because there's no medical cure for an infection that doesn't exist. It took an intervention from creepy John Goodman's Santa to foil Plankton's scheme, even though his only crime was exposing the citizens of Bikini Bottom as the hypocrites they are, and also building a murderous robot.
Oh my.
Is that all you got?
Yeah, that's pretty bad too.
I'm out of here.
The seaside citizens assumed everything was back to normal, although they can never fully undo the damage they caused, because while music can do a lot of things, it can't undo property damage. Bikini Bottom can bite me.
Hey, has anyone seen Patrick?
After diving into these episodes, it's pretty clear that Matt's theory about Jerktonium being a placebo holds up. The citizens of Bikini Bottom have shown time and time again that they don't need any magical substance to bring out their inner jerk. From laughing at SpongeBob's wig and Wigstruck, to trying to start a fight because of big meaty claws.
What did you say, punk? Big, meaty claws!
Again, I want to give a huge thanks to Matt Neff for giving me the idea for this theory. His channel just reached 10,000 subscribers, guys. 10,000! Let's try and get him to 100K before the end of 2024, and let him know I sent you.